This video is to better understand the lunge matrix. The lunge matrix is the way we name and break down to understand and train intentionally the lunge position of feet up through hips. So for the purpose of this lunge matrix, we're going to, in all positions, be tucked under with the pelvis, tall through the crown of the head, and relaxed up top. In an athletic context, the lunge is just the basis on which other things up top happen, but for purposes of lunge matrix, we're going to keep this solid and serene to begin. We're also going to stay square forward with the pelvis in addition to being level. So too with the knees and the feet. We're going to try not to turn out except on purpose. So starting with feet relatively close together, about hip distance, we're going to step to different positions. And what makes a lunge is that we have a stance leg, a leg that doesn't move, that whole foot stays rooted to the ground, so we're not going to let it come up. And we have a lunging leg. The lunging leg takes at least half your weight, sometimes a good bit more, but always at least half. And so we're going to simplify it to 5 positions for each side of the body, 10 in total. And you can follow along if you're in a position to do so. As we step straight forward, we're not trying to make the biggest step we can. In fact, start smaller than you think and build out. It's sometimes useful to stretch it a little bit, but this is about weight shifting and moving on purpose, so it doesn't need to be big, it needs to be precise. Anterior, straight forward. Anterior 45 is forward, but also 45 degrees out. And notice that we're still straight forward with the feet, still tucked under with the pelvis, still locked with the back leg, most of the weight over here. Anterior 45. Lateral is straight to the side. I step directly to the side, I'm still tucked in the pelvis, my toes are still forward, my stance leg is still locked, I'm still taking most of my load through here. The posterior ones are the most confusing generally for people. It's not a big step back exercise lunge. We still want to land flat on our lunging leg. And so it's a much shorter step back, usually only a third to a half of what you might do forward. Posterior 45 shifts us to the back foot. The quad is doing much more work to share the load of the glute and keeping the pelvis tucked under. Most of the weight is on the lunging leg in the posterior lunge. I can lift this one off the ground briefly because so much of the weight is here. And lastly, the 5th one, posterior 45, posterior directly. So you can do this both sides. You can go from the front to the back always. You can make one big circle around, but pause long enough in each lunge to verify that yes, you've met your conditions. Things are straight forward from the feet, from the hips. The pelvis is tucked. We're tall and serene. The lunging leg is bent. The stance leg is locked. That foot's on the ground. Practicing and perfecting this lunge matrix will help you understand where your opportunities lie and train them on purpose, and that's how we get better with the lunge matrix.